These are the best characters to have on your team in Rogue Company when defending on Demolition. Keep in mind these team compositions are not perfect and depending on the map should or would be changed. We're going to talk about each rogue, why they're viable, which equipment is best to use, and the perks you need to be using if you're not using them right now. As always, if you're a new viewer or a returning viewer to the channel, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. We're getting extremely close to our next milestone and I want to thank all of you for the support so far. It really helps me know what I'm doing is helpful as the subscriber viewer percentage continues to grow quite healthily. As always, I strive to make sure you guys are getting notified as soon as new content drops in the game, and I'll continue doing my best to keep you informed with tips and tricks. I do also want to mention that our Discord is expanding by around 300 members per week right now, and people are forming teams for ranked and competitive. If you're looking for a team for ranked or a competitive tournament play, get in there. People are also looking for groups to play with on different platforms. If you're curious, check the Discord link in the description. All right, let's get into it. Before we get into too much detail here, note that team composition largely depends on player skill level, communication, and the play style of your group as a whole. I've watched many competitive tournament matches, and right now the meta seems to be changing day by day. I've got two team compositions for you today that I feel are solid for any level of play. First, we need to talk about the type of things we are looking for on a defensive team comp. If you missed the prior video on team compositions for attack, I highly recommend watching that video as I will be skipping over repeat information about specific equipment tips. I could repeat all of the information from that video in this video, but I don't feel good about regurgitating content, and for people that have watched the prior video would probably get annoyed. So let's talk about things more generally. We base our team around three main cores. These cores are rogue abilities, gadget loadout, and perks available to each rogue. On defense, we want to prioritize slowing the attacking team's advance. Intel is also important, but what is most important is communication with your team. You don't actually need a Dallas or Talon on your team if you have great communication with your teammates. The ping system also has been overhauled several times and can be used to communicate if you don't have access to a microphone. Be sure to use this effectively and don't spam it. We also want as much utility as possible. So what do I mean by utility? I'm talking smoke grenades, thermite grenades, gas grenades, and abilities that deny or slow movement. You need to control the map and ensure you know where the attacking team is headed. It's easy to get overwhelmed by a full stack of 4 enemies if only 1 or 2 teammates are defending a bomb site. Make sure you know what your plans are going into each round, and if the enemy team is always pushing one bomb site effectively, figure out plans to counter that. Let's talk in more detail about those cores we talked about. We'll start with rogue abilities. On offense, we were looking for utility and sustainability, but on defense, we're looking for utility and intel. Regarding intel, you will see competitive players on Talon and Dallas. Now, I need to make a specific call out for Dallas here, as some of you may think that it's weird to see him played on high level play. The reason some players are running Dallas with the devotion is because they can reliably two-shot or chunk the rest of the health off of an enemy that has been slightly damaged. This allows them to recharge their reveal wall hack ability so they can continue to get intel on the enemy team. The other obvious rogue for intel is Talon. I prefer Talon and believe he's a better option across all levels of play than Dallas, as you really do need to be a crack shot with Dallas and his devotion for him to be effective at all. On Talon, your ability can only really be countered by an enemy Ronin or a Ronin-linked Dahlia. Talon's radar dart is great for quickly placing in different areas around the map to gather intel and can pick up anywhere from 1 to 4 rogues on radar. Make sure you're placing your dart on map geometry where it can't easily be destroyed from cover. Like I said before, the most important intel aspect of defending is your communication with your team. Make sure your teammates are calling out how many enemies they've seen and which rogues they've seen. If one rogue is missing, be careful about pushing out of cover, as you may get caught in a counter push due to your lack of intel. Try to stay put and make safe rotations or retreat for better sight lines depending on where the enemy rogues are positioned. Now, let's talk about the utility. More namely, we're talking about area denial or slowing movement through an area. This is all about crowd control. The 3 rogues that offer the best utility are the defense-oriented ones. We're talking Anvil, Trench, and Vi. Anvil can quite literally block off routes and sightlines. Trench can slow rogues with his barbed wire, and Vi can deter movement through 1 or 2 areas with their poison pools. All 3 of these rogues can be viable on defense, but we'll get into which ones I'd recommend in a bit, as well as the reasons for why. Next, we have the second core of the team composition, and that's gadget loadout. On defense, we're looking for frag grenades, incendiary grenades, smoke grenades, tear gas grenades, and active protection systems. Now, I know this list of gadgets is basically half of what's available in the game, but they are all good for different reasons. Frag grenades are always going to be good, despite the recent small nerf, because they can be cooked and bounced off of map geometry to detonate right on a target location. Incendiary grenades experienced a slight buff recently and seem to be much better. On defense, they can be used to deny an area similar to Vi's poison pools for around 10 seconds. They also cover a pretty large area. Smoke grenades are the main form of utility for obscuring vision and sightlines and can also be used as a form of space denial after they've been upgraded, as they will slow enemy movement when within range. Tear gas grenades destroy an enemy vision, which makes it very difficult to aim and can, once again, deter or deny movement of the enemy team. And finally, active protection systems are very strong, as they will destroy any hostile projectile within range. This includes any form of grenade or ability that is launched or thrown. The third core item is which perks are available to each rogue. Like on offense, we are going to prioritize tenacity and bounce back. They are just too good not to pick up. One other perk that I think may find its way into the meta is tracker rounds. After a recent buff, this perk now will reveal an enemy for 4 seconds to your entire team after they've been damaged by your firearm. If you'd like a full rundown of the perks available in Rogue Company, go check out my perks comparison video. I'll link that down in the description below. Alright, now with these core ideas in mind, we can form our teams. We want a team that has solid utility, intel, and area denial if possible. Let's break this down into 2 teams. One that has more intel and the other that has more area denial. Let's talk about the intel team first. This team is going to consist of Trench, Anvil, or Vi, Talon, and Dahlia. The reason I say Anvil or Vi is because the pick will be dependent on the map. If there are more tight corridors or routes, you may want to run with Anvil so you can block off paths. Anvil also has active protection system gadgets to counter more grenade spammy maps. Vi, on the other hand, is all about damage over time and space denial. She has 2 charges of her poison pools ability, incendiary grenades, and tear gas grenades, all of which are fairly large area of effect. With fully upgraded tear gas grenades, you effectively have 5 pieces of utility that can slow down enemy advancement, 2 tear gas grenades, 2 poison pools, and 1 incendiary grenade. The reason we have Trench on the team is for a very similar reason, except he can do Vi's job and Anvil's job. He has active protection systems like Anvil does, but also has barbed wire and tear gas grenades for area denial or slowing enemy advancement. With his passive, Gadget Up, he also gets an additional gadget, thus meaning he can have up to 3 tear gas grenades and 3 active protection systems. On top of this, he still has his barbed wire. He effectively has 7 forms of utility, meaning no other rogue even comes close to Trench when it comes to how much utility he can bring to each round. To further expand or exploit on the positives of Trench's utility, we have Dahlia. When linked with Trench, Dahlia will have up to 3 smoke grenades and 2 frag grenades available each round. Dahlia's ability also brings survivability and sustainability to the team, as she can revive Trench if he does get knocked. The Trench and Dahlia combo is just so synergistic that it's good on offense and defense. Last, we have Talon for his radar dart and powerful Deadeye DMR. Talon can safely sit back and check enemy locations with the dart to help the team find every enemy rogue in a shorter amount of time. One last thing I need to point out with this team comp is that every single rogue has access to tenacity. This is huge, as tenacity is pretty much the most important perk in the game right now. Alright, let's talk about that second team composition. This team consists of Trench, Anvil, Vi, and Ronin. Now, this team is meant to be played a bit differently than the prior team, as this team is all about denying or deterring movement and trying to funnel or influence the enemy team to pick a route to a certain objective. I've already gone into detail about Trench, Vi, and Anvil, so I'll spare you the repeat discussion about them, but the goal with the barricade, poison pools, and barbed wire is to deter or block off routes on the map. Being the only non-defender, Ronin may seem like an odd pick here, but she's on the team because of her ballistic knife. The noise that the knife makes when you are within proximity can be enough to make the enemy team think twice about pushing through a choke point. If they don't know where the knife is placed, it can be very risky to try to run or roll through a choke point even under the cover of smoke without the tenacity or headstrong perk. When combined with Anvil's barricade, you may be able to lock down 2 choke point zones on the map. To further Ronin's viability, she also has access to tenacity, track around, smoke grenades, frag grenades, and is completely hidden on the enemy's minimap due to her passive, Underground. After placing her ballistic knife, she could even be used to flank the advancing team. Again, guys, let me know if you like this content by liking the video and dropping a sub if you're looking for more Rogue Company content. There's plenty of more helpful videos in the description below, and we have a full community of people looking to play or team up for ranked and tournaments in our Discord. The link for the Discord is in the description below as well. Right now, there are a lot of different organizations trying to start up the Rogue Company competitive scene, and within our Discord you can be directed to everything that's going on in Rogue Company. I'm also very active in the Discord and over on Twitch. If you haven't checked out the stream yet, I'd recommend it. I take a different style to streaming that is more fun and laid back and open to chatting with anyone. If I don't catch you in the comment section below, over the Discord, or over on Twitch, well, dang. I hope to catch you in the next one.
Not the duck!
Where is our teammate, bro? Oh, there it is. There it is.
Good job, teammate!
Close to die. Don't get close to die.
Ah!
Is that our bomb?
She's trying to block. Oh my god! Pull out your sniper rifle! Yes! Oh, that was too close.